Have you ever noticed how quickly we rush to the drugstore at the very first sign of an illness, completely ignoring the absolute powerhouse of medicine growing right beneath our feet? We live in an era where healthcare costs are skyrocketing, grocery bills are through the roof, and the ingredient lists on our food are impossible to pronounce. But the truth is, the ultimate blueprint for human health isn't locked away in a sterile laboratory, and it certainly doesn't require a massive budget. It was laid out thousands of years ago in the pages of Scripture. While modern society is just now waking up to the incredible power of botanical medicine and organic growing, our biblical ancestors were actively using these exact plants to heal severe wounds, fight off rampant infections, and sustain massive populations in harsh climates. And today's clinical science? It's finally catching up. Under microscopes and in peer-reviewed studies, researchers are proving that the ancients were right all along. In this video, we are going to explore 10 specific medicinal plants mentioned in the Bible that you can start growing this week. And here's the best part. You don't need a 100-acre farm to do this. Whether you have a sunny apartment windowsill, a small concrete patio, or a quarter-acre backyard garden, these plants are going to fundamentally transform your homestead, your health, and your wallet. Make sure you watch until number 6, because I'm going to show you a medicinal fruit so potent that a biblical prophet actually prescribed it to cure a dying king. And I'll give you the exact container soil mix to grow it yourself. And you definitely don't want to miss number 2, a legendary first aid plant that will save you a fortune, provided you don't make the one watering mistake that instantly kills it. If you're ready to stop relying on the system and start growing your own independence, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Every week, we bridge the gap between ancient biblical wisdom and modern homesteading, helping you grow absolute abundance. Let's dive right in. Here are 10 biblical plants you can grow at home, counting down to the most miraculous one of all.
Number 10. Mint, the currency of wellness. We're starting our list with an herb so vital in the ancient world that it was literally treated like cash. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, Jesus calls out the religious leaders of his day for obsessing over their tithes of mint, dill, and cumin, while ignoring the heavier matters of the heart, like justice and mercy. But the historical context here is fascinating. The fact that mint was accepted as a temple tithe tells us everything we need to know about its absolute value. In antiquity, this wasn't just a garnish for your drink. It was the frontline digestive and respiratory medicine of the Middle East. Today, gastroenterologists actively recommend the menthol found in peppermint for treating severe irritable bowel syndrome. Clinical trials have proven that mint acts as a rapid antispasmodic, meaning it literally relaxes the smooth muscles of your digestive tract and can relieve severe tension headaches within minutes when the essential oils are applied to the temples. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. From an agricultural standpoint, mint is a survivor, but it comes with a strict warning label. It is incredibly invasive. The containment rule. Never, ever plant mint directly into your raised garden beds or your yard. It spreads through aggressive underground runners called rhizomes. If you plant it in the ground, it will choke out your vegetables in a single season. Always grow it in a dedicated container. Soil and moisture. Unlike most Mediterranean herbs that prefer dry, sandy conditions, mint actually thrives when its roots are damp. Use a heavy, moisture-retaining potting mix rich in compost. Place the pot in a spot that gets morning sun but is protected from the scorching afternoon heat. Companion planting. While it needs its own pot, keep that pot right next to your cabbage and broccoli plants. The strong menthol scent is highly effective at confusing and repelling the cabbage white butterfly, protecting your brassicas organically. Harvesting and preservation. To get a massive harvest, don't let the plant grow tall and leggy. Aggressively pinch off the top clusters of leaves every week. This forces the plant to bush outward. When you harvest, dry the leaves in a dark, well-ventilated space. The Homestead ROI. A single $3 starter plant from your local nursery will yield a lifetime supply of organic digestive tea. You will easily save over $150 a year on over-the-counter stomach remedies and imported teas.
Number 9. Cumin, the heat-loving healer. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, the prophet uses the careful planting and harvesting of cumin as a metaphor for God's precise instruction to his people. The scripture notes that cumin isn't threshed with heavy cartwheels like wheat, but beaten gently with a rod. The Israelites handled this crop with extreme care because of its massive medicinal and culinary worth. During the Roman Empire, cumin was so prized it was kept on dining tables in a specialized container, much like we use black pepper today. Modern researchers have discovered why the ancients prized it so highly. Cumin seeds are loaded with active compounds, primarily thymoquinone, which actively block the enzymes responsible for systemic inflammation in the body. It is also a clinically backed powerhouse for stabilizing blood sugar levels and stimulating the production of pancreatic enzymes, making it one of the best natural digestive aids on Earth. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Because cumin originates in the blazing heat of the Middle East and the Mediterranean, homesteaders in cooler climates need a specific, deliberate strategy to get a harvest. Beating the frost. Cumin requires a long, relentlessly hot growing window, roughly 120 frost-free days to complete its life cycle. If you live somewhere with a real winter, you cannot direct sow this outside. You must start these seeds indoors in biodegradable peat pots under warm grow lights at least 4 to 6 weeks before your last spring frost. Soil requirements. Cumin roots utterly despise sitting in water. You need to mimic a sandy, arid environment. Blend your standard potting earth with about 30% perlite or coarse agricultural sand to guarantee rapid drainage. Harvesting the medicine. You aren't harvesting the green foliage here. You are waiting for the delicate white or pink flowers to give way to brown seed pods. As soon as the pods turn brown, but before they shatter and drop their seeds, cut the whole stalk. Tie a paper bag over the top of the stalks and hang them upside down in your pantry. As they dry, the medicinal seeds will drop naturally into the bag.
Number 8. Coriander, the manna standard. When God provided manna in the desert, the Israelites needed a way to describe it. Exodus 16 tells us it was like coriander seed. God used this plant as the standard to describe his ultimate provision. Today, botanical science has revealed that coriander seeds and the green leaves we call cilantro are phenomenal detoxifiers. They have a unique ability to bind to toxic heavy metals in the body and safely flush them out, while also acting as a potent antimicrobial agent. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Cilantro is notorious for frustrating beginner gardeners because it bolts, meaning it shoots up flowers and turns bitter the moment the weather gets warm. The succession strategy: treat this as a cool weather crop. Instead of planting a whole packet at once, sow a few seeds every 2 weeks during the early spring and early fall. This ensures a rolling, continuous harvest. Root sensitivity. Coriander grows a very delicate, long taproot. It throws a fit if you try to transplant it. Always push the seeds directly into the final pot or garden bed where they will live. Double yield. Harvest the outer leaves for cilantro in the spring, and when the summer heat finally forces the plant to flower, let it. Those flowers will dry into coriander seeds, giving you 2 distinct biblical medicines from one single pot. Number 7. Hyssop, the cleansing brush. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Those are the words of King David in Psalm 51. Hyssop was the brush used to spread the Passover blood, making it Scripture's ultimate symbol of physical and spiritual purification. It turns out the ancients knew exactly what they were doing. Clinical herbalists today utilize hyssop because its essential oils are violently antiviral and antibacterial. It is a frontline defense for breaking up severe chest congestion and soothing respiratory infections. The Homestead Growing Masterclass.
Hyssop is a tough, woody perennial. Treat it right, and it will be a permanent fixture on your homestead. The soil secret. Think about the rocky, unforgiving terrain of ancient Israel. Hyssop actually prefers poor, chalky soil. If you pamper it with heavy nitrogen fertilizer, it will grow weak, floppy, and the medicinal oils in the leaves will be heavily diluted. Watering. This plant is fiercely drought-tolerant once it establishes its roots. Let the container dry out entirely before you give it a deep soak. Peak harvest. The medicine is most concentrated right before the plant fully blooms. Clip the top third of the stems just as the purple flower buds begin to swell, and dry them for your winter apothecary. Number 6. Garlic, the immunity anchor. In Numbers chapter 11, the Israelites are wandering in the barren wilderness, and they literally weep because they miss the garlic they had in Egypt. While their complaining was a spiritual failure, their nutritional craving made perfect sense. Garlic is arguably the most heavily researched medicinal bulb on the planet. Its primary active compound, allicin, is a clinically proven broad-spectrum antibiotic. It lowers blood pressure, aggressively fights off viruses, and acts as a massive shield for cardiovascular health. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. If you want to harvest giant, pungent bulbs, you have to work with the cold, not against it. The winter chill. Garlic needs a biological trigger called vernalization, a period of deep cold, to divide a single clove into a massive, multi-clove bulb. You must plant your cloves in the autumn, roughly a month before the ground freezes solid. Choosing your seed. Growing in a container on a sunny balcony? Buy a soft-neck variety. Living on a homestead with freezing, harsh winters? You need a hard-neck variety. The multiplication factor. You don't need to buy expensive seed. Take a high-quality organic garlic bulb from the market, break it into individual cloves, and plant them, pointy side up. One $2 bulb will easily yield 10 massive plants by midsummer.
Number 5. Fig, the prophet's prescription. In the book of 2 Kings, King Hezekiah is struck with a lethal boil or infection. He is at death's door. The prophet Isaiah intervenes, but not just with prayer. He orders a specific medical poultice made of crushed figs to be applied to the wound. The king recovers completely. Modern medicine backs this ancient protocol. Figs contain a powerful enzyme called physin, which actively breaks down necrotic, infected tissue while delivering a massive localized dose of antioxidants to accelerate cellular repair. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Many people assume you need an acre of land to grow a biblical fig tree. You absolutely do not. Container genetics. Seek out dwarf cultivars like Little Miss Figgy or Chicago Hardy. These are genetically predisposed to stay compact and will happily produce fruit in a standard 20-gallon patio planter. Nutrient needs. Figs are incredibly thirsty when they are producing fruit, so use a rich, loamy potting mix. However, ensure your pot has massive drainage holes. Standing water will rot the roots overnight. Overwintering. If you live in a cold zone with harsh freezes, wait for the tree to drop its leaves in the fall, then roll the pot into an unheated garage or shed. It needs the cold dormancy, but the protective walls will keep the freezing winds from killing the branches. Number 4. Pomegranate, the temple's crown jewel. God commanded that the hem of the high priest's robes be lined with embroidered pomegranates, Exodus chapter 28. They were carved into the pillars of Solomon's temple. They were the ultimate representation of divine abundance and life. Today, we know that life-giving symbolism is entirely literal. Pomegranates are packed with punicolagens. These are elite, top-tier antioxidants that clinical studies have shown can actually scrub plaque from arterial walls, drastically lower blood pressure, and combat severe cellular inflammation. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Just like the fig, pomegranates can be cultivated by urban homesteaders if you pick the right variety. The patio variety. Look for Punica granatum-Nana. It's a dwarf variety that tops out around 3 to 4 feet tall,
but still produces a heavy yield of deeply medicinal, slightly smaller fruits. Sun requirements. This plant needs absolute, blazing, unapologetic heat to set its fruit. Give it the brightest, sunniest microclimate in your yard or on your balcony. Fertilization. When spring breaks, hit the soil with an organic, phosphorus-heavy fertilizer to encourage those stunning red blossoms to form and transition into heavy fruit. Number 3. Olive, the branch of peace. From the leaf brought back to Noah's Ark to the Mount of Olives, the olive tree is deeply ingrained in the biblical narrative. It provided the oil that anointed kings and fueled the temple lamps. We are all familiar with the heart-protecting benefits of olive oil, but here's a secret that most modern gardeners don't know. The leaves are actually a more potent medicine than the oil. Olive leaf extract contains a compound called oleorubin, which clinical trials have shown can lower blood pressure with the same efficacy as prescription medications. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. You don't have to wait a decade for your tree to produce fruit to press oil. You can harvest the leaves for medicinal tea in the very first year. The best cultivar. The Arbequina variety is legendary for adapting beautifully to container life. Drainage is everything. Olives naturally grow on rocky, arid hillsides. Standard potting soil will suffocate them. Create a 50-50 blend of potting earth and coarse sand or cactus mix so the water runs straight through. Cold sensitivity. These trees cannot handle deep freezes. If your winter temperatures dip below 20 degrees Fahrenheit or -6 degrees Celsius, you must bring the container indoors and place it near a bright, sunny window until spring. Number 2. Aloe Vera, the Embalmer's secret. In John chapter 19, Nicodemus arrives to prepare the body of Jesus, bringing an astonishing mixture of myrrh and aloes. While scholars note that the burial aloes of antiquity were often a fragrant timber, the aloe vera succulent itself was actively used as a premier healing agent throughout the ancient Middle East. Today, it is the undisputed king of topical first aid. Clinical studies confirmed that the mucilage inside an aloe leaf significantly accelerates the healing of burns and abrasions. When consumed internally, pure aloe juice actively coats and repairs an inflamed, damaged gut lining. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Aloe is ridiculously easy to propagate, but it is also the easiest plant on this list for a beginner to accidentally murder. The watering rule. Overwatering kills 99% of domesticated aloe plants. You must exercise restraint. Do not water it until the soil is bone dry all the way down to the bottom of the pot. Neglect it a little bit. It will thank you. Root structure. Aloe roots grow out, not down. Plant it in a wide, shallow bowl rather than a deep, narrow pot, using a sandy cactus substrate. The safe harvest. Never chop the tip off a leaf. Always harvest the oldest, thickest leaves at the very base of the plant, cutting close to the stem. Vital tip. Stand the cut leaf vertically in a jar for 15 minutes. A yellowish sap called aloe will drain out. That sap is a severe laxative. You want to discard it and only use the pure, clear gel inside. Number 1. Mustard, the seed of faith. We end with the plant Jesus used in Matthew 13 to illustrate the sheer unstoppable power of the kingdom of heaven, a microscopic seed that explodes into a massive sheltering presence. But historically, this plant was vital medicine. For generations, the mustard plaster was the ultimate home remedy for pneumonia and deep chest colds. Modern science shows that mustard seeds contain glucosinolates. When you crush them and add water, it triggers a chemical reaction that produces deep, penetrating heat, pulling blood flow to the lungs to break up severe congestion. The Homestead Growing Masterclass. Mustard offers the fastest turnaround time of any plant we've discussed. You can grow it in a week. The Rapid Harvest. Fill a shallow tray with an inch of damp potting soil. Heavily broadcast organic mustard seeds across the surface and put it in a sunny windowsill. Microgreens. In just 7 to 10 days, you will have a thick canopy of mustard microgreens.
These tiny sprouts contain up to 40 times the concentrated vitamins and anti-inflammatory compounds of the full-grown plant. Snip them with scissors for a massive daily health boost. Making the plaster. If you let the plant mature outdoors and harvest the seeds, you can grind them, mix them with a little flour and warm water, and apply the paste over a cloth on a congested chest. A quick safety note: never apply a mustard poultice directly to bare skin, as the heat reaction can cause blisters. Look at this garden we've just walked through. The Bible is so much more than a historical or spiritual record. It is a highly practical living guide that shows us exactly how God provided the tools to heal our bodies and feed our families right out of the dirt. You do not need a massive plot of land to reclaim this independence. Pick up a few cheap containers and some seeds this weekend. For less than $20, you can start growing your own biblical apothecary immediately. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 10 plants are you going to add to your homestead first? Are you going to try the 7-day mustard greens, or are you ready to start your own potted olive tree? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love seeing what this community is building. If this look into biblical agriculture brought you value today, please smash that like button. It is the best way to tell the algorithm to share this forgotten homesteader knowledge with more people. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell, because next week we are breaking down 5 ancient Israelite crop rotation secrets that will instantly double your garden yield. Thank you for spending your time with me today. May God bless your homestead richly, and I will see you in the next garden.